Hello people and welcome to watch yet another World Team Carcassonne Online Championships match. Today we'll be having quite a lot of matches actually. This is the final day of the group stage of week 4, and so a total of 11 matches will be played today, though we will not be covering them all as it is quite impractical and quite impossible. So we'll start the day off with Australia Hungary. We'll continue with Vietnam France at 1100 UTC, and then we will be having evening matches starting from RCP Italy at 1600 onwards. Now, when it comes to Australia Hungary, the group we're talking about is of course the Group A with Finland, China, Catalonia, Hong Kong, Hungary, and Australia. And as you can see, both Hungary and Australia at the moment are at 0 match wins. So unfortunately for them, it is, I want to say, quite impossible to qualify to the playoffs. But their matches will still be be taking effect on the other teams, and especially regarding the potential tiebreakers. But more of that later. The lineups you can see above me on table Y, on table 1, we have 5 Murph versus Josef Tichon. That's Siegfried, as many of you all know. Table 2, Megot Noskill versus Robert Iles. Table 3, fateyes versus Peter Kosma. Table 4, Shane versus Ildiko Takac. And finally, table 5, Rob V335 versus Agos Nagy, the captain of Team Hungary. Now, having watched the Australian teams play, and of course having had played them ourselves as well, I do believe that Hungary should be getting their opening win today, but they are not going in with their number 1 lineup. So there might be still some potential upsets on maybe even multiple tables, and it is also totally possible for Australia to also get their opening win, which would certainly put some smiles on their faces. Losing or let's say walking out from the tournament with 0 match wins is not really something that you want to do. Ask me, I am an expert in that, as Finland was not able to win a single match in 2024. Now we will be starting off with table 3 with fateyes versus Peter Kosma, and we will work our way up and down from there. If you do want to see a specific duel or a game, then do let me know in the chat and I will accommodate your requests as best as possible. So monasteries for both players for 6 points. Now there is a huge gaping hole in Peter's position, and he seemingly did not even care that much to defend it with, well, arguably the crossroad is not the best tile to defend it anyways, but I mean, it does block off 2 meeples at once. So it was certainly a something to be worried about. However, those meeples are now gone, and seeing that there is going to be a field fight, it's going to be rather annoying and dangerous for Peter to try and win that. Usually, the player with more meeples is going to win a long-term meeple fight, and in this case, it is going to be fateyes. And although he is currently behind on the field with 2-1 much minority, then he should be getting more meeples onto the field. I'd say fast enough, unless of course he also gets 2 of his meeples strapped. Now he is making a evil hamster spot for a road monastery, and that will come to be very handy, but only in half the games approximately. As without the road monastery, then fateyes will of course be in a similar position to his opponent, especially given that there are only 2 daggers to fit into this square with his 2-point city, and it is in danger of getting blocked as well. So if Peter is going to be able to successfully block off the city, then these 2 blocked meeples for Peter won't be an issue, as it will be the exact same thing for red as well. However, now we do see that red is indeed going to get his second field meeple some value. It did already have 6 points on it, but now it is also trying to invade the main field. We should be having a fairly easy defense as fateyes. I know it's enticing to also get your meeple out, but this is way more important. It is especially important now within a field fight, because we definitely do have to try to maintain that meeple advantage, which we technically at the moment do have. I'm saying technically because we don't actually have those meeples in our hand, but we just have the potential of getting those meeples back. The road monastery could also be a significant issue for red, though, not only because he needs it to liberate his earlier monastery meeple, but also if Peter goes over here with a straight road, then this might actually be a very nice tactic for green to actually try and fend off the attacking red meeple to the field. So forming a road monastery square on this spot, and then using this 9-point monastery spot whenever the road monastery is drawn. I actually either by red or by green maybe. They might both want to place it into the same spot, though with different reasons. However, Peter has different ideas. So first of all, he actually does block this square, which is not that bad actually. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad, because so even though all 5 vanillas are out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then now the only route to the main field, well, no, the 12-point field really, is going to be via the road monastery. But if red does not go with the road monastery over here, then it is also going to be a slightly annoying stuff to deal with as red, because his monastery meeple will be stuck to 8 points for the entirety of the rest of the game. And he specifically limited it to the road monastery so that he can take it out. We also see red going for loops here with the intention of attacking another 12-point field, which is now getting equalized by green. But also there is another sneaky idea which unfortunately red misses that idea, although maybe not entirely. I mean, there is still a chance for it to happen, so red can go over here with a road tile and then gets his hands on a starting tile and still connect to the now 15-point field on the left, but these two tile connection plans can be rather difficult to actually see, and seeing that red actually formed a 6-point loop, I'm pretty sure that this is, well, it might actually just be the only reason of red dropping a farmer, and I wouldn't really count on red actually seeing the possibility of being able to connect to the left to the leftmost field with his at the moment 0-point meeple. But it would certainly be a nice chunk of points, 18 to be exact, if that curve hits the hand of fateyes. Peter does have a small-ish lead on the scoreboard at the moment of 6 points, but that is swiftly taken away by red as he does find the curve that he was looking for, gets the 6-point loop road, as well as is now controlling the 12-point field. And this road monastery spot is still a question mark. Now, coming back to this triple city with the field, which significantly made the options of red worse in connecting to any field with this 0-point farmer here, then I think his idea was simply to be able to create another attacking opportunity or platform to the 15-point field, which, I mean, it does make sense, but I'd still say that it caused more issues than good. Some uncompleted cities on the main field currently, with the 4-point city, well, at the moment 1-point city controlled by green and an unmeepled potential 6-point city, though there does seem to be a vast majority of the city caps gone, so that might be an issue for whoever player is actually losing at the moment. And I want to say that it is green, though maybe not after this. He will get his 9-point monastery here, and he should be taking the monastery points and absolutely should be going for the main field. Like, it is just a 20-point move. Like, you absolutely need to make this 20-point move. Like, 20 points for one extra meeple for red is way more than enough. And Eter does go for it, so he does fulfill his plan, which he had set up from the dawn. Welcome, Marek. Nice to see you in the chat. So after getting the control of the now 18-point field versus a 12-point field and being in the lead on the scoreboard by 3 points, having the monastery, having a small city, it looks to be quite decent position for green. So plus 3 plus 4 plus 11 plus 12 and minus the road points. So plus 6 and then 6 additional field points. So plus 12 for Eter. fateyes takes a 6-point ruin and now it is going to be plus 6 still for Eter. Look into I I don't know what he should do because he could sure continue his city, but that would then expose a potential platform to attack the field for fateyes, which doesn't sound like that ideal. Now, hopefully, Peter is aware that there are indeed no vanilla city caps left onto the square and that he is in total control of the leftmost field. He should know that. After all, he did create the spot himself. And now does... Oh, but fateyes does get the starting tile. And now he sees the idea. Now he sees the idea of being able to get to the field. So it does suck up 2 tiles, but it is worth 6 points after all. And 6 points is exactly by how much red is losing at the moment. Another alternative could have been to simply go maybe for even a finishing move of the city of Peter and drop a farmer. But there might not be that many connection tiles available. Eter now has to think a bit to try and try and see how he can fend off the attack, and this is not it. Actually, there was actually no way to fend off the attack. There were so many connection tiles. As a matter of fact, almost every single tile, if not every single tile in the deck, was able to connect because I think there are still 2 starting tiles left. And now the situation is dead equal, but it still does favor. It definitely does still favor Eter because now he just takes a 5-point road and then he will be forced to have a starting tile as his final tile, same as fateyes. But the difference is Eter can score without meeples. So if he just takes a 5-point road here, he can also make a 5-point move on his final turn by finishing the 8-point city. Whereas fateyes will only be able to, I guess, take a 4-point ruin or a 4-point road, and that should be, yeah, it definitely should end up in a +6 position for Eter here, as long as he does not do anything out of the ordinary, but he does do. But it still doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter because Eter can still score with his final meeple. But this is definitely a mistake from Eter of not taking this 5-point road because he is now, as you can see, missing out on 2 points because he was only able to meeple a 3-point field as opposed to a 5-point road. So a bit of an imprecision there by Peter, but that will not be costing him the game, fortunately for him, even though it was like really not that far away from happening. Yeah, actually, it's still gonna be +6 for Peter. So with the move that your host here suggested, still +2 points would have ended up at +8. But a win is a win. +6 will do just fine for Eter, same as +8 would do. First game point for Hungary. and we will be continuing with let's say, well, let's actually continue by getting some potential updates on the situation if we can. Unfortunately, the GG page seems to be working rather slow at the moment. We can also try to simply update the scores from here. Except that we unfortunately cannot, because the GG page does not really work at all. Okay, well, let's then, I guess, go the manual way. And we will be hopping into table 5 with Rob V versus Corrales, and we'll see how they are doing at the moment. So currently Corrales, after a very tight first game, seems that Corrales has been able to defeat his Australian opponent, and now leading 1-0 on table 5. So we shall take a look at how the second game is doing, and whoa, it was... Wait a minute. Well, that was a really fast game. Only 10 minutes, and well, Corrales does pull up ahead and takes a 2-0 win. So unfortunately, we will not be witnessing the plays of the Hungarian captain, but we do witness the end result of that, and it is a point to the match scoreboard of Hungary. Let's switch to table 2 then and see how robill is doing against Megot Noskill, who arguably is the strongest player of Australia, and one that Australia is definitely giving a lot of playtime to, with which is really not a surprise at all. But so far, robill is in a 0-1 lead against Megot, and the situation is definitely looking great for Hungary on pretty much all tables that we have been able to update. So we have a couple of monasteries for Megot and a vulnerable-ish looking city, which I would have to say that it's gonna be tried to get defended, because it is still like entirely completable. I would be quite surprised if anything else happens, but anything else does happen, as Megot simply connects the cities, which, I mean, it is also an understandable move. It's like, after all, it is 2 points straight up, one for connecting to a larger part of a city, and one for the monastery, and he does get the defense going anyway, so no harm was done there. A tube divider for Megot, and not too many great places to start a new city from. I guess I would say the best place is to start a city from here on the right. Nah, yikes. That is. I mean, I get the idea that Megot does not want to leave an empty city cap lying around, but you really, really should not be completing or try to entice your opponent to be able to attack on a nearly completed feature that is shared. Because the city is now only, as you can see, one city cap from being finished, and it can easily be attacked with a city cap plus a Dorito, which I'm actually surprised that Megot does not do, given that this is already 7 points at the moment, and it would be quite a lucrative city to attack to. And also, it's always more fun to be the attacking side than the one who needs to defend the attack. 4 points, I guess, is gonna be Megot's move. What this also does is it creates a field for the incoming time of Megot drawing a dagger. So, which there are actually still all three remaining, by the way. So finishing off the city, being able to drop a farmer, which will then basically control every field on the map. And as you can see, the attack is going, but fortunately for Megot, he does get the counter attack going on, so no harm is being done there. But like you see, had he not gotten an attacking tile, then it wouldn't be much of a fun position to defend, because then it just always ends up being like it just always ends up into like a huge pressure situation where you are just hoping to get like enough blocking tiles fast enough so that you don't have to then worry about the attack or the potential city completion ever again. Semi-save made from Megot, trying to get a straight road going in here and also taking away a lot of the better blocking tiles from robill, such as regular curves, which are not that valuable in many places. Not that there are actually many curves remaining. There seems to be only two or one, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only one single curve remaining in the deck with 33 tiles remaining. That's a bit unusual. But it will actually it will work out in favor of blue here likely, because at the moment regular curves are also a great way for Megot to continue his monasteries. Though this monastery is at the moment in a winning mini battle against the 3-point road, so it's not that big of a deal. I think we just go for the defense, right? We still have 3 starting tiles. Like we really should be going for the defense of the city. Like we really should be. We also create a 3-point road in the process, so that's also an additional benefit. I don't know why Megot is thinking about this so hard and so long, and it definitely worries me. Like I guess he's also thinking of just getting 2 points for its monasteries, but it is not as strong, nowhere near as strong as simply saving his city to the 3 remaining starting tiles and getting a 3-point road made for himself. And he does go for it. Robill continues the city. with natural tiles, looking to create a lift-shaped city here with another triple city and then a couple of Doritos. But a lot of those, actually a lot of both triple cities and the Doritos have already gone out. There are only two triple cities remaining, as well as I believe a quad city also, and only three Doritos, which is not that great. Also, I would have to say that this is not that great either, because I would definitely say that it is in Megot's interest to not meeple the city, because it can get very easily directed downwards, and then he would be needing a dagger just like he needs a dagger over here. And needing daggers to multiple places, or any tile for that matter, to multiple places is really not great for you, because then you will be having hard time in trying to be efficient with your tiles. The final curve of the game goes to Megot, and it looks like a decent tile to be continuing your monastery with. Could go actually over here, might be even better. Or here, also nice. Then maybe a straight road here and getting the second meeple back. Sure, it will be a net plus minus zero move with two moves, but it doesn't really matter that much, because it still gets the valuable meeple back. The city does get saved for Megot, so no worries there. Also, there are now no curves in the deck to fit into this square, so but there is a road monastery, so I guess there is still an option for this city to actually be included in a huge field. Robill is the first one on the field, takes the 9-pointer, and now also has several ways to even expand the field with a dagger here, which there still is one remaining, or two daggers remaining over here, and also two daggers remaining over on this square, where Megot will then be expanding the field all the way to the right, although would only be adding one extra city. Megot does get the dagger. Now the question is, will he take this very juicy looking city, or will he go with a bit of a more humble approach and try to get his monastery set free? And I think a better approach would be to simply try to get his monastery out. Because taking the larger city is also going to enlarge the field. And he does go for the monastery move, which I do like. Also gets even more daggers, and now this time finally is going to be able to retrieve his city meeple, which was waiting there for a long time. Robill has tried to hinder the completion chances of the city of Megot, but in the process has also created a 4-point road for Megot to take as soon as he draws a straight road of any kind, or even a crossroad for that matter. Could also get a 3-point road and take this um, monastery meeple back. Also not a bad move at all. Now, since there are no more dividers in the deck, I don't really see Actually, I do see. I mean, Megot can go either for this one, or he can go for this, creating an attacking platform or a blocking platform on this potential 8-point city, and also making sure that this city is never going to be completed, because there are no more dividers indeed, so it is going to be impossible for the city to fill this square, and because it has to connect to this part anyway, it's simply going to be a ruin. Megot with the one final remaining road monastery does have multiple options, but I think the best one is to simply take maybe 3 points here, because there are still so many straight roads and starting tiles and crossroads that it's like almost impossible for Megot to not get value, like quick point value out of his one meeple. And well, this looks to be one of the very few tiles that he can't do that with. He could still go, for example, here, I guess. Limit this square to a straight road, which there are still, well, 2 remaining. It's not, I mean, it's not that bad, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2 straight roads remaining. He would be taking away some tiles from himself, but he can always use crossroads to score immediately anyways, and he has a use for starting tiles here. So it's not like he's going to be losing value. No. Actually, wait. I mean, this seems really bad though, because it's blockable with one tile. Like if robill just goes over here, then this attack is fended off immediately. And I have to wonder, did Megot even need to attack the field? He's +5 on the scoreboard, equal 3 and 3, then has the monasteries for 16 points, 12, 15, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, he was +3 points. Why would you use your meeple when you know that there are a lot of spots that you can still score from with that one meeple, like here, and from the road ends in general? Like, it's really not that good of an idea for Megot to attack to attack the field, because actually connecting from this side. Oh, no, 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 no! What are you doing? What are you doing? There's no way. This makes absolutely no sense, because Megot, even though he gets the right tiles here seemingly, he just took tiles away from himself of finishing this city. Also, he could have totally dropped a farmer here, because he wants to attack the field, right? And there are still a lot of tiles to fit here, no? Well, quite a few. There's one starting tile and I guess one straight road after this. So like, if you are ready to attack the field from a spot that is entirely blockable with one move, then surely you should be willing to attack the field from this spot, which is not blockable with one move. I get that. I do get that the 4 points are great and might even be the right way to go at it, because again, we got now at +14 looks to be doing just fine. Plus 18, 21, 20, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually dead equal at the moment. Yeah, dead equal. This one lost meeple here is just truly going to hurt though. And I don't think there's a way to get it to the field. I don't think there are vanillas either remaining in the deck, or are there? One, two, three. Actually, there is one remaining, which means that Megot could still go over here with the vanilla, and then here with a straight road or with the starting tile. So it is possible, but it's also very easily defended by robill. And whoa, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Only one singular curvy tile left. And now, with the meeple majority, Megot does not need to do much at all. He can just go here and meeple this city pot for 5 points. And he should definitely use a meeple right this move, because robill has the opportunity to still. Okay, this is actually, I mean, this is kind of fine. It leaves a 50-50 opportunity for Megot to get to the field, but because the Kirby tile is there still, it's gonna be not a 50-50 chance to win the field. It's gonna be like a 25% chance to win the field or something like that. Because first of all, Megot needs to get the straight road, and then also needs to get the curvy tile, which I believe is, I guess, a dagger of some sort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No daggers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, what? No, I think I have just miscounted. I don't think there are any curvy tiles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, there are no curvy tiles at all. So this move right here from robill was just a massive, massive, massive mistake. Just burning off. Entirely just burning off a meeple for 0 points, for nothing. And coming from a strong 500 rated player, like, it just has to be a miscount. And also misprioritization, because again, robill didn't need to attack the field with a second farmer. If anything, he could have attacked the field maybe from here and get guaranteed 3 points, and with this extra points on the road if Megot frees up his meeple. But this one though, it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be painful, as Megot is now at the moment looking like a 66% chance to win, because robill only has only has one tile remaining after this, and there is still, I believe, a triple city in the deck, as well as a straight road. And Megot is a 66% chance favorite to get the straight road. The triple city is there, and it will go on to getting extra points for him. But what about the straight road? The straight road is not gonna get drawn by blue, but does it actually exist? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It does exist, and Megot will be getting onto this 15-point field. Well, it's going to be 18-point field, but he will get those points and he will win this game. And he will be forcing a decider. What a quite a turn of events, as both players seem to be messing up quite a bit in this game, doing some misprioritization and not really looking at the situation from the from the pure point perspective. Like neither player actually had to attack the field, I believe. With well, robill didn't have to attack the field with the second farmer, especially not from a spot that he could never um, unify his second farmer to the field with from. And Megot could have actually just not cared about the field at all and just take points with his additional meeples, which I think would have been just fine. But this is, of course, I guess the more flashier way to do it, because winning by more points than you would have otherwise the chance to is always nice. So a decider on table 2, and we will be updating the other tables as well if we just can. And so far it looks to be actually very grim for Australia, as Hungary has already won 2-0 on table 3, table 4 and table 5. So not much to be left for pondering. Now what is interesting though is that 5Murph has actually been able to win 2-0 against the reigning World Championships silver medalist Josef Tichon, and that is definitely an upset for Hungary, but it's not going to discourage them from taking the entire match win, which they will be doing, and they will at least be getting one match win in on this season. So the zeros will turn into 1 at the end of this match. Now it's just about whether it will be 2-3 or 1-4 at the end of the match, and it will be decided by the decider between Megot Noskill and Robert Illes. Megot looking to finish a sizable city, and this I think is a huge mistake. This I think is a huge mistake, as he certainly did not need to continue the city. Now, I know that it is always enticing to try and make the city even bigger and get an additional 4 points, but the city was entirely safe because it was shared, because it shared the potential finishing square with the monastery, which was defending it. This monastery was defending the city more than actually harming it. Whereas now, when you add the potential for points, it also creates an attacking platform to the city, which immediately gets taken advantage of by Roberts. And that's definitely not the the best way to go about it, as Megot, as he is now basically giving away all of this, all of like giving away this entirety of the value of the city, or so he would, had he not gotten the second divider and actually still somehow, some way managed to save the situation. What a salvage, truly, with a quite a spike of a luck for Megot as he's able to rectify his position and still get away with the city nonetheless after making a rather poor move. But even with the city, it's 18 to 12, so not a big lead. And also, Robert is the player with pretty much all the power here, as he is holding all, well, almost all of the open features on the board. A city over on the right, a road here, and both players with a monastery and a 6-point field. So despite being down on the scoreboard, I would still favor robill on this position. Unfortunately, this is the most terrible tile that could occur for robill, as Megot cuts away the road, saves the monastery actually also, and more importantly gets 5 points plus 1 for the monastery. Very unfortunate stuff for robill, but such is life. At least robill does get a road end for that, if nothing else. But yeah, what an unfortunate turn of events there. Well, at least robill does pull a Dorito from the deck, so now threatening to finish a 10-point city. Megot with a chance to try and cause nuisance could go over here, start a new city, and make an attacking platform, which does seem like the reasonable thing to do. We are still at a stage where we can definitely go by with the two city principle. Instead, Megot goes for a 1-pointer on the monastery. Also drops another farmer, as as this move also not only includes these 6 points, but also includes this potential third city onto the field. robill instantly also drops another farmer of his own and adds 1 point to the monastery. And leaving an empty city cap lying around is actually decent for robill, as Megot already has a city cap over here, a city cap over here, so it is, I would say, unlikely that with a city cap with a field, Megot would be taking this city first. It would instead be left for robill. Okay, monastery restricted down to the one final dagger, and Megot with a monastery of his own, which will be good for taking 4 points. And I don't really have any doubts that that would not happen. Seems to be the best move. I mean, stacking monasteries can also be fun, but not really with two meeples and the other monastery already being almost blocked entirely. And like this 4-point road without meeple investment is just like a free snack. But Megot decides that monastery stacking is the way to go, which I mean often can be difficult to argue. But in this case, I would say that it is not as powerful as you might think it is. I also don't know why Megot is pointing the road end upwards, as he could have a great use for a crossroad over here, taking 2 points, as well as giving 2 points for the monasteries. Whereas now he can take 2 points, but he can only give 1 point to a monastery. This square can also get restricted at some point, so gotta be careful at that. But I don't think this is the tile to do it, though. Not, I mean, it is actually the tile, but it is not the time to do it, because Robert still has this city over here, and this is not like a complete block. And now the city is in danger of getting drawn to this dead square with a road Dorito or with a triple city with a road. Actually, a triple city with a road would be really terrible for robill, as it would score 3 points for Megot. Sure, it would also block the monastery, but it already kind of looks to be blocked, with now only one starting tile remaining. And like this city still had a lot of potential. Like there are still 5 Doritos left in the deck. Like 5 Doritos is a lot to finish a 10-point city. And like you could just finish your city first and then you can go for the blocks. Instead, that's not at all what happens. It is far from it, as robill prioritizes the blocking. Does not want to see the dagger being drawn, and also now restricts his own city from 3 tiles to only 2. From 5 tiles to only 2. Because now there are only 2 road Doritos fitting into that square. And sure, there is the triple city with the road, but now as you can see, as a result of the blocking move and the city, if you go here with the triple city with the road, then you only have 1 tile, that's that very same dagger, to fit into this square as red had for some time for the saving of the monastery. So not really all that ideal. robill going for more fields, understandably so. This quote-unquote main field on the upper part is going to be likely shared. Currently is 6 points to 9, which is, well, actually, as a matter of fact, it is not even 6 points to 9, it's just simply equal everywhere. Also, I don't get what this move is from Megot, because all it does is it restricts Megot's field, or Megot's part of the field. It doesn't really hold any actual value. Well, if it holds anything, it holds negative value, because it takes away the only possibility from robill to actually it takes away the only possibility from Megot to actually lay down empty city caps on his side of the field. Robill starts a city on his field, and Megot now tying everything together. And was it Megot who placed this tile over here? I think it was Megot, and his thinking was that he's going to cause nuisance for this road meeple here, and also maybe try to block this square from the farmer. But actually blocking the square from the farmer would include blocking his own city, so this would like actually never work. So this was like entirely for the reason of being able to cause issues with the road. Unsuccessfully so, as robill manages to save the meeple. Does have to sacrifice a couple of points, because otherwise he could have taken a 7-point move in the south. There are actually now also, well, there is one road monastery remaining, so that can be a stepping stone for robill to get back into this game. Also, the road triangles are still very much in the deck, so this is still going to be a like an 11 or a 13-point move for robill if he manages to get one of the two remaining road Doritos. And currently being at +8 for Megot, +50, +21. +16, +10, +9, +5 for Megot and an extra meeple. It's looking actually, I'm not actually even sure which one do I prefer in this scenario here. Because this is like never going to be finished. These monasteries are never going to finish, because even with the starting tile, it would simply create another starting tile spot onto this square, and there are no two starting tiles in the deck any longer. Megot makes what seems to be another mistake. He does connect to the three-part. He does connect to the 3-point city part of his opponent, but had he gone over here, there he would have just a 3-point city part of his own, and he would have the potential to expand it, whereas robill would not, because every tile added here would connect to this city of Megot, and there are no dividers anymore in the deck, so getting a divider for robill was impossible. So this is really not that great. The only possible, the only like possible explanation that I get for this is either Megot miscounted the dividers, which I would find to be quite amusing, because he was the player who got both of those, or he simply wants to get a city cap and then attack this city and try to get it all for himself. Megot does get the road monastery, and it should, I think, be swiftly added to the 8-point position, maybe, or maybe not. yeah, this can also be argued because if you go here with the 8-point monastery, which was going to be easily completable, then also what could happen is robill places a farmer over here and connects through here or through the curve at the top and is going to then be leading on this 12-point field. Also, I see absolutely no reason at all whatsoever why robill would do this, because this gives 3 points to Megot. This was a minus 3-point move for Robert, and I just don't get why he would do that. Maybe he's like trying to push for a third farmer from here, which he can now do. But there is also this now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there are still six. Sorry, not six, but there are still 4 triangles, 4 Doritos left in the deck, and also seemingly also some triple cities. Can we block this? Are there straight roads? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are still 2 straight roads, so we can't actually block this connection, which is not that great for robill, and also he himself made this possible for Megot, which has to hurt. But one Dorito could fix it all. We need one Dorito as robill, and then we can get this city or this city, and that can and both of those features will get us plenty of points. Of course, this would be a bit more vital because this city can be blocked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is still one triple city remaining. So there's only one tile to block this feature entirely. But with the amount of Doritos remaining, it is very likely that Megot has a blocking tile in his hand, and it is the worst kind of one for robill, as it is the final triple city, and it is now blocked. The city is blocked, and now we are in deep trouble. Now we are in deep trouble as Robert, as we are down minus 11 points, minus 18, 25, 37, 36, 30, 20, minus 26 points. And what we need is like this road Dorito. Then we need to attack the field and connect to the field, and that will be like just barely enough to get even. And then, I mean, we are just actually done. We are just so done. Even with the most favorable tile outcome of getting the road Dorito first, getting like 13 points here, we like there is just nothing we can do here, because even then Megot simply has to take like this 4-point ruin with any tile that remains in the deck, and he would win. This connection was also, I mean, it was possible to make, but it was unlikely, given that Megot could have also just went with a tile that he could not use for blocking, he could just go over here and drop a farmer of his own. So in case he doesn't get a tile to block, he does get a tile to always place +1 meeple to the field himself. And unfortunately, as a result of using our final meeple to attack the field, we were not able to take the 5-point road, and we thus lose out on the road value there. So Megot does handle his stuff. If I'm not wrong, Robert had a tile for 100% block for the field with cap with crossroad. Now that you mention it, you might just be right. You might just be right, David. So with this tile that robill used to simply get an empty city cap on his field, he could have gone over here and made a complete block on this farmer of Megot, because there were no regular curves remaining, there were no daggers, there were no field crossroads, and it would have saved him 12 points plus the meeple, so 17 points. Yeah, I want to say 17 points, but then again, would even that be enough? Oh no, not 17 actually, but wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 15 points. No, it is 12. Yeah, it is 12 points, because then this would have scored 3 points for this city. So 12 points plus 5. So it would have basically saved 17 points, but even 17 points would not be actually enough, because it would bring him to a 5-point, well, to minus 5-point difference. So unfortunately, still not enough. I think he still should have he still would have needed to get a more favorable tile run out afterwards. Like he would have needed to get this road Dorito earlier, like on the move that he got the straight road. Then he would be able to take the 5 points. Then do, I guess, this. No. Then he would be able to take the 5-point ruin with this here tile, and then have an extra meeple. Maybe in some scenarios we also get this one. Like, a lot of things still needed to happen on top of this block, which then could have given us a chance to actually try and win this game. But the block in it, like the block on its own, is not going to be enough to win us the game, and thus the duel. But a very good note indeed, David, that this field attacking was definitely preventable. But Megot takes the win here and makes it 2-3 for Australia. And despite still losing their fourth match and thus remaining at 0 wins, it is their first match that does not end up with 1-4 or 0-5. So at least there is some I want to say reason for for a small joy. But what it does mean is that Australia's first season in the WTCOC is looking to potentially end the same way as Finland in 2024 with 0 wins. They do still have, of course, one match still remaining, and that will be against Hong Kong, which I want to say Australia is heading there as a massive, massive underdog, as they were actually, to all the other matches as well. No, I'm not gonna lie about that. So they still have, of course, the chance to get their opening win, which would be, I would say, pretty big against Hong Kong. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on the final week. Hungary moves to 4-1. Now it will not help their qualifying chances because their tiebreakers are just simply way too bad. They are now 7-13, so -6 in duels, which is way worse than they would need in order to qualify from the third position. And third position is exactly the best that they could ever hope for. Actually, let's see if like Catalonia, because they are still playing Catalonia, right? So if Catalonia loses against Hungary, let's say like 0-5, right? Then Hungary can go to -1 tiebreakers. Catalonia will go, well, I think less than that because they are also playing against China just actually in like 45 minutes. So if Catalonia loses that, then yeah, if Catalonia loses against China and against Hungary, they will still have only 2 wins and potentially worse tiebreakers than Hungary. And Hong Kong currently 2 wins with ±0 with tiebreakers, but I mean they would have to tank really bad against Australia if Hungary were to actually finish ahead of Hong Kong in this group in this group. Uh, and yeah, that's like the best case scenario for Hungary. So they can still theoretically get third place, but with a -1 tiebreaker, which is likely not going to be enough to still qualify for the playoffs. And yeah, that's about it. Now, Catalonia Hong Kong would be interesting. Unfortunately, there's also a secondary match that is happening at the same time, and it is Vietnam France. So we will be streaming that in about 40 minutes. But the overall standings of the Group A looking favorable for Finland, looking very favorable for China. Depending on the outcome of China Catalonia, it could potentially look favorable to Catalonia as well. But all the others, well, actually, I mean, it's like looking sort of kind of decent for Hong Kong because of their final week opponents being Australia. I would imagine that Hong Kong will take the third win and end up with like +4 tiebreakers, or well, at least. Sorry, not +4, but by plus 3 tiebreakers if they win 4-1, and then they would be clinging on to that third spot quite quite strongly. But we'll see when China and Catalonia are done, and yeah, we'll talk about the final tiebreakers and what is needed in week 5 when we get there. So the future matches that will be streaming today are still Vietnam France at 1100 UTC. So in about 40 minutes, like I said, a bit less than that. Then RCP Italy at 1600 UTC, followed by Argentina Spain on the same stream, and then finally Slovakia Uruguay to end off the week on this channel. And then Portugal, Lithuania, and United States, Netherlands are going to be streamed by Alexei, and might be joining the audience myself as well. That's where we'll be wrapping up this stream. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for sticking all the way until the end. And if you do enjoy this type of Carcassonne content, then there is an easy way to support the channel by subscribing or liking the stream. I will see you soon with some more Carcassonne content in the form of Vietnam France at 1100 UTC. Bye for now.